All right, in this vignette, we're going to demonstrate how to fillet roundfish. In this case, I have a beautiful non-farm Atlantic salmon, beautiful, fresh, clear eyes. It smells like the ocean, and it's going to taste like sushi in a moment. So we're going to start by cutting the salmon right behind the dorsal fin, all the way down to the spine. And as you can see, I'm using plastic wrap on top of the table because I don't have a big enough cutting board to be cutting the salmon this way. So I had to use the trick of cutting board in there. We start the salmon right on top. And what we're gonna do right now is come down the spine with our bunny knife, and I want to cut through all the dorsal bones. And yes, those crack noises is your knife cutting through the spine and the bones. And I'll show you how to get rid of those in a moment. Now, I've seen a lot of chefs just stopping at this stage, but there's a lot of flesh right here. What I do is I take a spoon and I just scrape against the bones. And you might ask yourself, what can you use that for? In my planet, it's called salmon tartare. It's already chopped in little pieces, but we pay a great amount of money for this fish. I'm gonna try to use every single piece available from it. To get in every single nook and cranny. It's a beautiful fish. Look how much meat there is still attached to those bones. Gonna get it to the other side. Cut down to the spine. And keep your bone completely parallel to the spine. You're gonna be able to cut your fillet. If you feel comfortable doing it from this side, then do it from the other side. And this way you can cut towards Again, there's a lot of flesh still in this fish, and I'm gonna remove it. And what I did there is I don't like to cut it from the other side, but we're gonna be able to remove all this flesh. And this is gonna be turned into a delicious salmon tartare. For those of you sushi lovers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been asked multiple times if you can make fish stock with salmon. I usually say no. You shouldn't be making stock with fish that is oily, that is fatty in nature. It's gonna yield a very, I don't wanna say rancid, but the fat from the flesh is not gonna give them a good flavor. I do have seen chefs that they take the head. I'm gonna be careful so I don't hammer my knife. They pry the head open, remove the gills, and it's a delicacy in Japan, and they eat the cheeks of the salmon. There is a lot of flesh still inside there. Okay, I'm gonna clean this side of the table and I'll show you how to skin the salmon, how to get their bones out, and we have a special guest here in the house, Chef Frank, which is gonna show you a very interesting trick. A technique, I don't wanna say tricks, we don't have a lot of tricks here, but a really great technique on how to skin the salmon. First thing we're gonna check if it's for pin bones. I have this really fancy pin bone remover, and most of them you're gonna be able to see them, but I usually do a check with my hands. I was able to remove some of them already, and actually it's the best way. When you have the glove on, I'm not able to feel them. If you're gonna be doing sushi, I suggest you do the glove on and try to use the gloves as many times as you can. It helps you learn how to feel things with the gloves. And just with your, no, and please don't try to use a tweezer, like a small tweezer, because it's not gonna work. These are specifically designed to pull bones out of fish. Next thing I wanna do is I want to remove the belly of the salmon. And this is what I'm going to use mostly if I'm gonna make more salmon tartare. First I want to remove all the bones attached to the belly. The lower dorsal fin also will come off. And don't worry, everything that has pin bones, it can always be used for making something else with it. Again, I do another check for pin bones, and we look really good here. My board is not as big to do the next one. Get underneath the skin. Pull towards you. And I just did something at the beginning of the fish. I have my knuckles on top of the table, and I wanted to show you what's going to happen once I'm done with this fish. As I keep my knuckles on the table, I won't be able to go all the way down, and I'm leaving a lot of flesh on the skin. Once I got to the middle, I move my hand outside, keeping that knife flat, and then that's when you can get most of the skin out of it. This is a beautiful salmon. Make sure that and now it's going to be ready for production to cut into sushi or fillets or tranches, anything that we might want to do with it.
Same thing like Chef Carlo did. I'm covered in bones.
Smoky bone, broken bones.
I make a little slit at the bottom. Start my knife in. There it is. I had a towel. I just grab the tail with a towel. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's see. There we go. Get your hand up under it. And 9 times out of 10, the belly will stay while the meat comes. It's going to come with it, though.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Show the other side. Beautiful. And now you just finished do the
Now
trim.
you just finished cutting it up. I would
make-
come through.
Make it nice and pretty. Yeah, have a nice clean board for you, Chef Frank.
There you go. Thank you. There you go. And it's ready for production.